This episode of Pop Goes the Culture is brought to you by Sherry Bond. Thanks for being a Pop Goes the Culture Patreon contributor. To get your name at the top of a Pop Goes the Culture episode, become a Patreon subscriber for just $4.99 a month. It's easy. By doing so, you'll help us keep Pop Goes the Culture coming to you every day. And as a thank you, we'll put your name at the top of a Pop Goes the Culture episode in the future. Thanks to all my Patreon contributors. Hey, I'm David Levin, and welcome to Pop Goes the Culture, the behind-the-scenes tales of TV that have rarely been revealed until now. In part 5 of my conversation with Marina Sirtis, she tells us about what she called Planet Hell, and the worst Planet Hell they had to deal with on Star Trek The Next Generation. The change from Star Trek miniskirts to more comfortable uniforms, how Denise Crosby left the show, and how she came back, and the first major crossover with the original series. What was it like when Leonard Nimoy came on the show as Spock? I understand. What's the worst Planet Hell that you had to deal with? Is there anything that sort of stands out?
Well, what really stands out in my mind was actually an episode that Majel was in. And we had to get into a mud bath. And when they said, you have to get in a mud bath, I assumed it would be like going to a spa and, you know, therapeutic mud that made your skin gorgeous, you know. So I wasn't really too concerned about it until I got to the set and I realized I don't think it was that kind of mud. I think it was the kind of mud that the girls wrestle in at the Tropicana. And I think it was used because there were like indescribable things floating around in this mud. And I had to sit in it with Majel and Michael Dorn. And you know, getting close to Michael Dorn when his hands are invisible, not a good idea.
Little wandering Klingon.
Little wandering Klingon hands, yeah.
I understand. Well, I don't understand, but I understand.
So that was a pretty disgusting experience, yeah.
Oh my God. First season, they had the old traditional Star Trek miniskirts.
Oh, actually, first episode.
First episode.
Yeah,
really?
yeah.
Tell me about that and why they changed it.
Well, I think it was a throwback to the '60s, really. I mean, because it was a micro mini and go-go boots. And the reason I was the only one wearing that outfit of the regular cast was because I was a little heavier in those days, and my legs were thin. My arms and legs never like gain weight. It all goes in my torso. So I kind of looked like a potato with matchsticks sticking out of it. So I think they put me in the micro mini to draw attention away from my flab. So because my legs were thin, you see. Oh, they can look at her legs, you know. But I called it the cosmic cheerleader outfit and hated it because you really couldn't do anything without, you know, exposing your breakfast. So they realized after the first episode that it didn't really match my character to be, you know, looking like a go-go dancer. So they put me in a different spacesuit.
A little distracting when you're doing counseling, I guess.
Well, it is, because first of all, every time you sit down, you have to make sure, you know, that there's no gaps anywhere.
Not a good thing.
No, no.
Let's talk about when Denise Crosby left the show, because they made a big deal of it, and they wrote into the storyline. She was planning to leave the show? Sort of walk me through this.
I think Denise didn't feel that she was suited to doing episodic television. The hours are very long. It's relentless. You really don't get to see. She was married. I mean, I think that was a really important part of it. She was a newlywed, and she was seeing her husband for 10 minutes a day. And people don't realize how many hours one works when you're doing episodic TV. So I think she just really thought it wasn't for her. And it kind of coincided with the time, actually, that Gene was thinking that there were possibly one too many characters on the show. And so it basically prevented him from having to fire someone that she volunteered to leave.
It was a good, though, opportunity for a new storyline.
It was a great storyline. It was a big storyline for me, that episode that she got killed in. It was one of my strongest stories that first season. And, I mean, we were all sad to see her go. We really were, because we got on great. But as I said, I think some of of us, you know, that were left were breathing a sigh of relief that we hadn't got canned.
The other nice thing, though, is, you know, when someone actually dies, then they leave the show. It's not, you know,
but not on Star Trek.
Tell me about it.
You can get killed many times on Star Trek and still come back. Now, with Denise, we killed her twice. She still came back, but then we punished her and we gave her a really bad blonde wig when she was a Romulan. That was how we punished her for leaving the show.
She got a couple of good, really good storylines.
She had, yesterday's Enterprise actually was her idea. She came to the producers with that idea. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
How did that sort of evolve?
I don't know. I mean, I think, you know, she missed us. We would run into each other at conventions, and I think she missed us. Maybe not so much the show, but she missed the people. And she had this idea for a show where it would go back in time, and we could have Spock, you know, on the show, which was always a plus to have an original cast member. And so she kind of, I think she developed the story with Rick Berman.
What was it like, sort of, when the show, because I know the first season you guys sort of tried to avoid any kind of crossover other than having a Klingon on the show or whatever. What was it like when, you know, the original series started to filter into the next generation?
Well, it's interesting because now when we guest on other people's shows, other sci-fi shows, we're kind of treated the way that we treated the original cast. We were always very excited when we had an original cast member on the show, and were very nervous and kind of, you know, giggly and silly and just, you know, oh, I can't believe you're going to be on the show. And now when I go and do other people's shows, I kind of get treated a bit like that myself. Oh, you know, because Next Gen was the flagship, you know, and so we get treated a little special too.
Next time, Marina comes back for more. We'll talk about ending the Next Generation series, the relationship with Deanna and Riker, the relationship with Deanna and Worf, and my geekiness gets even geekier. And if you care about such things, when it came to Deanna's relationships, were you Team Riker or Team Worf? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Don't miss Ask Them Yourself, a live show where you can be part of the conversation, calling in via Skype or FaceTime.